Hi, I'm Kat and I play Red. When this video goes live, I will probably be somewhere between Lisbon and Leiria, because not next week, this week I'm off to Portugal for LeiriaCon. So hopefully we'll get some video footage there and there'll be some cool stuff I'll be able to show you. So today we only thought it appropriate to have a look at Lisbon Tram 28. It's produced by Meebo and designed by Pedro Santos Silva. Let's have a look at how it plays. In Lisbon Tram 28, players take on the role of drivers. The 28 route tram in Lisbon is well known. It goes to a lot of the historic and tourist sites in the area and is used a lot by locals. So in this game, you're going to be driving your tram, picking up passengers and dropping them off at the various tourist spots across the board. In your turn, you're going to take 2 actions. You have a choice of 4 you can do and you're going to take 2. So let's have a look at what those actions are. There's no red in this, so I've got to go with this weird pinky purple colour. So the first thing I can do is to move my tram. Now anything counts as a stop, so this counts as a stop. The stops where the passengers are count as stops and these are stops. So each movement is going to cost you 1 card. So if I wanted to move 2, for example, I'd have to use 2 cards of the same colour. I can make any number of movement as 1 action, but I must have the cards to do it. However, that's not what I want to do. I'm going to move my tram and I'm going to move it 1. So that cost me 1 card. I'm going to use the green, discard that. Now, one of the other actions we can do is to pick up passengers, which very conveniently, without trying to, I've got the right cards for. So to collect passengers, you need a card that matches each of the passengers at the stop. So here I need 1 red, 1 yellow and 1 green. There we go. Now I can pick up those passengers and put them onto my tram. Now if I'd had those cards, I couldn't just pick up those 2 passengers. I must have the exact cards for every passenger at that stop. So I'm going to pay the 3 cards, pick up the 3 passengers and pop them on my player board, my tram here. So that is our second action. Now as we're here, let's have a look at this player board. At the start of the game, you can only carry 2 passengers of each colour. So if, for example, I was at this blue stop, let's go over here, where there are 3 blue passengers, I couldn't fit all of them on my board, but I'd have to pay 3 blue cards and then basically take 2 and leave 1 guy on his own at the tram stop, which is quite sad. So you can only take passengers that you can fit on your tram, but you must always pay for all of them at the stop. So here's my 3 passengers in my tram. There's some bonuses here. Now the colours of these will vary depending on the player board. There's special spots on the board that allow me to grant these, but let's just have a quick look at what they do. So here my red ability is to get an extra action per turn. So if I'd unlocked this, pumping that there, I'd get 3 actions a turn. My yellow spot here opens up these 2 additional slots for each colour. The green one here allows you to pick up passengers out of the bag rather than the stop. We'll have a look at that in a minute. And the blue here would allow me to have 1 extra movement per turn without having to discard a ticket. So that's the 4 special abilities that you can get over the course of the game. Now, the way you get them is from these 4 spots on the board. So here's the blue one, the red one, the green one and the yellow one. So to get those, you'd have to drive your tram there and hand in 3 green tickets, and then you'd unlock that ability. So those 4 spots there, which count as movement spots, you need to get there if you want to collect your bonuses. Now, one thing this game's got that's quite cool is the little bell. There's a couple of times you use the bell in the game. One is when you're collecting passengers. If I decided I wanted to push my luck here, and instead of just picking up those 3 passengers, I can ring the bell and push my luck. And I can do that by taking extra passengers from the bag. Now, if I had the cards to match, I'd also get to take those additional passengers, which I would have actually been able to do, but, you know, I didn't. So that is one case where you use the bell. The other instance would be if the turquoise player came round here. Now, I'm in their way. They can't stop there because I'm in their way. So the turquoise player would ring the bell and shunt me out of the way. Now, there's only one place for me to go, so I'd have to move forward there, and both of us would get to draw a card. If you're shunted and there's various options, you're going to choose where you get shunted to. So that is moving your tram and picking up passengers. And we've spoken about taking a bonus, which is the 3rd action. So the last action you can do is to drop passengers off at a monument. So let's say I had pushed my luck and I had that green. You're going to need the passengers shown at the bottom of the card here. Now, these big orange cones show you where you're trying to get to drop the passengers off. So let's say I move here. I need to drop off a red passenger and 2 green, which, oh look, I've got. So those 3 just go to the side for now, and I take this ticket. Now, I can decide which side of my tram I want this card to go. I'm going to pop that there for now. Over the course of the game, you're going to get more tickets, and each ticket that you manage to join up, the colours here, will give you an extra point at the end of the game. So when you're placing your first card, you need to decide which side, and that's going to be important because of matching. So now I've taken this, one of my opponents gets to draw 3 workers from the bag and place them on an empty tram spot. Now, in this case, there is only one, so I've just given turquoise those passengers. We're then going to move that card there and move this orange cone to there. And I mean, I've done more than 2 actions, but that's all 4 of the actions. So you can move your tram, pick up passengers, drop off passengers, or take one of these bonuses. At the end of your turn, you're going to draw 4 cards from the deck. 1, 2, 3, 4. My goodness, I couldn't plan that if I wanted to. Now, initially, you might think that having 4 cards the same isn't good. But firstly, that's going to allow me to take the red bonus if I wanted to. But at any point in this game, you can trade 3 of a kind for 1 of something else that you want. So in this case, I think I'd keep them and probably try and head my tram up here to get my red bonus, which is an extra action each turn. So not too shabby. Play will continue in this way, with each player doing 2 actions a turn, moving their trams around the board, picking up passengers, dropping them off. The other thing worth noting with movement, let's find a good example. I couldn't take, if I was the dark blue player, I couldn't go here and then round to here, because you must always follow the tram line. So if I was going up this way, I'd have to go here and then back out, because these are trams, they're not cars. They can only go where their tracks tell them to go. So there's an element of logic to this. This is actually the 2 to 3 player side of the board. The other side is for 4 players. Depending on the number of players you have will depend on the number of monuments you have available. In a 2-player game, you cover that up and you only have the 3. And also, it depends on the number of routes available. The number of routes is your trigger for game end. So this is set up for a 3-player, so we have 15 routes face up. So if we'd gone through all of these routes, and this one happens, we then play to the end of the round. The game will finish and points will be calculated. Your points in this game come from your routes and your joins. So let's say we had this, and let's just grab some off the top here. This is an awful lot of tickets. I don't think I'd ever actually get, oh goodness, that many tickets. None of these got yellow on the right side, so you are sometimes going to have to take something that's not a join, which sucks. So let's say at the end of the game I had these tickets. I'd gain 2, 3, 4, 5 points plus an extra 1, 2, 3, 4. So that would be a total of 9 points. Then the player with the most points is the winner and the best tram driver. I just like being noisy. Lisbon Tram 28 is really a slightly more complex ticket to ride. You're completing routes, but this time you have passengers rather than trains. It is quite a simple game, but it's beautiful, it's clever, and it's really interesting. As I say, I'm flying into Lisbon, so I'm going to be looking for all these places. If I'm lucky, I'll see a 28 tram. I'll try and get a photo if I do. The other thing I really like is this little bit of a geography lesson on the side here. Sadly, Leiria, where I'm going to, isn't on this map, but, oh, I can't see. I know it's basically, I think it's somewhere between Lisbon and Porto. I think it's nearer Lisbon. But I'll find all this out. Isn't that exciting? So, yeah, Lisbon Tram 28. It's a really nice little game. It's definitely more on the family end of things. Or if you're like us, where you just want something that doesn't take too much thought on a school night. Super cute, super fun, and you get the bell. You get to shunt other people's trams. always fun. So available now. This was an Essen release, so I think it's kind of, you know, heading out there for general release, so check it out. Thanks for watching this video. If you liked it, click like and subscribe and all that stuff. Come and say hello on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Hopefully there'll be some exciting photos on there from Portugal. See you next time. Bye.